Oh, yeah. Oh, 5 seconds in, and all I've done, I haven't even said hello. Hello. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. I didn't realise it was quite on then. There we are. Welcome to day 46 of the Social Distance Social Club, answering your questions on rider confidence and accepting your advice on. What else? Interneting your job, of course, which I've I don't successfully managed to do. No, I have successfully managed to do it. But it's not my field of expertise, but I'm willing to help along. And general things about lockdown, and there we go. So good morning, everybody. Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining. Okay, so first thing I need to do is go down. As always, I'm on StreamYard, broadcasting to YouTube and Facebook. Interestingly, the YouTube stream, which hasn't then been saving it to YouTube. So today, I've only just realised that for the last 2 days, it's only been saved to Facebook. All isn't lost. I can always download it from Facebook and upload it to YouTube so that the YouTube audience isn't left behind. But apparently, it's all working on YouTube as a live stream, but it's not being saved, apparently. So I'll look more into that today, see if I can solve that. But I'm on StreamYard, broadcasting to Facebook and YouTube. There's also a button to broadcast to LinkedIn, but I haven't got enough of a presence on LinkedIn to allow me to do that, to go live. And it also goes to Periscope. And I thought, blimey, is Periscope still going? I'd forgotten all about that. But anyway, there we are. So I'm going to get the invite button, which is here, copy to clipboard, got that there. If you would like to join the conversation, if you've got any advice for everybody, or you've got a question regarding rider confidence or internet in your business, then come on in. So first of all, I need to go to ask you a question. Click this link or to offer advice, of course. There we go. Pop that link in there. Okay, so if you've got any question, I'm not getting back to written questions because that happens on the Facebook Lives. This is an opportunity to come in and join the show. And if you, no matter how much you think that it applies only to you, if one person suffers a issue, then 10,000 people suffer the same issue. So you can really help people by just bobbing on and asking your question, give it a bit of context. We'll have a little conversation, see if we can work out what's going on. Okay, lovely. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Bom dia. And dobre jutro. Lovely. Okay, then. So there's the link. Click on that and you can ask your question, offer your advice. Your businesses, feel free to put it in the comments, even if you think it's nothing to do with horses. You never know if somebody's looking for a fridge mechanic or whatever it is that you do. So feel free to stick that in the comments along with any links that can help people, and let's get this social club going. So have I put my chair too far back? Maybe I have. So I just shuffle that forwards, that's better. I'm going to start off with thought for the day. Oh, hello, Zaria. How are you? I haven't spoken to you for a while. Thought for the day. Right, okay, I'm going to be a bit harsh. Going to get at you a bit. So, hands up, says I, at every rider confidence course and every rider confidence seminar. Hands up who suffers from other people's opinions. Everybody puts their hands up. Personally, obviously, I'm still human. If I dwell on other people's opinions, I could gather up some hurt feelings, which probably isn't a very good idea. So I don't. There we are. That's how I get about it. But anyway, some people suffer from other people's opinions So much so that for fear of this, not even for them, for fear of other people's opinions, for the imagined response of other people's opinions, they then don't get on their horse or don't do the exercises that they should do or just feel intimidated. And of course, that's just insecurity on the part of the person with the horse. And I think everybody has got that to a degree or not. If you want to get over that, that requires practice. It requires deliberately putting yourself in those situations. And of course, then people get on. Do you know what? I don't know if you can hear the fish pond gurgling there, but it's really annoying me. I'm going to go and turn it off. Shut up. I'm trying to do a broadcast. There we are. Turned off the filter. Dribbling water sounds all the time. So yes, as I was saying, other people's opinions comes from insecurity on the part of the person who is reluctant to get on their horse because of they're worried of imagined responses. And yeah, come on, let's be realistic. Sometimes it's not imagined responses. Sometimes the horsey crowd can be a bit mean. And there we go. So understandably, if you're feeling a bit insecure about yourself, then you might not want to get on your horse. It takes practice. You have to dig deep and face up to it in bite sizes. But sometimes, depending on the yard that you're on, those bite sizes can seem quite big, and you're not always in the mood for it. So, well, how can we get ourselves over this hurdle? Well, here's where I'm going to get harsh and have a go, because there's always another way to look at the world. There's always another way to see a quality such as being self-conscious or insecure. And if you're the kind of person who identifies as self-conscious or insecure or takes too much notice of other people's opinions, such like, that could be quite your insecurity or shyness quite identifies that. They're not bad. It's not a bad quality to be a bit insecure or shy or caring about what other people think. Now I'm going to find another way of looking at the world that is not congruent with your self-identify as a caring person. And I'm going to say that what you're talking about, if you're taking other people's opinions, is vanity. Not insecurity, vanity. You don't want to look bad. You're not prepared to go and do what needs to be done for your horse. You look at your horse looks at you, it's time for work, and now you're going to deny your horse any chance of galloping on the beach, any chance of running up a mountain, any chance of going herring through the woods for a laugh, shouting yee-haw. None of that's going to happen because you're too vain. Told you I was going to have a go. You're too vain to get on the horse and trot your circles in front of somebody else in case you look bad. Vanity. Ooh, that was a bit nasty, wasn't it? There's always another way to look at the world. So, in one way, if we consider ourselves to be a caring person, it's probably quite incongruent for someone to turn out and say, do you know what? You're suffering from vanity. You're really vain. That'd really be something that you'd bridle at. And no, that's not me. There's always another way to look at the world. If somebody feels that they're extremely appreciative of all the wonderful things that the world has to offer, and they're extremely mindful and full of gratitude, there is nothing bad about that. But if someone turns around and said, "Yeah, you're never serious. You're really feckless. You're always wandering off doing the thing that you want to do with no regard for it. In fact, you're irresponsible." Well, irresponsible and feckless aren't going to make you feel very good when you're thinking that you're being mindful. It's always another way to look at the world. So the question is, which way do you want to look at it? if something is getting in the way of your life, then it might be advantageous to just identify the negative side of emotion. So if you're not getting on your horse and you feel quite comfortable saying, well, thing is, I'm just insecure and a bit shy, and you may not feel saying, I'm being vain. In that situation, with you not getting on with the things that you want to do, with it causing a mental block, it might be worth using the negative term for the same set of emotions and saying, if I don't get on this horse, it's because of my vanity. That might be enough to begin the process of getting over it. Might be enough. Everyone's built different, but it's worth considering, because the important thing is to start the process in bite sizes. I don't want you to beat yourself over the head about it and then make yourself thoroughly miserable. But in bite sizes, I'd like to find a way that I'm not being vain, but I am actually doing the best for the horse. Sometimes the negative way of thinking can be put to use as a push, and then we've got the pull, of course, of having a nice time with our horse and everything. It's worth thinking about. There's always another way to look at the world. Interesting. Okay, let's get on with the show. We've got our first guest on. If you would like to, I'll be with you in a minute, Eve. If you would like to get the questions out or offer advice or even jump on and tell me that I'm talking rubbish, that's all absolutely fine. Control V, there's the link that you need to hit in order to get on. I'll just put to ask a question or offer advice, just in case nobody's been on here before, or offer advice, please click here. And let's crack on with our first guest, which is Eve. Hello, Eve. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. Yes, we're there. We've got contact. What's happening
Yeah.
then, Eve? What's new?
There. I'm riding my pony, but obviously we can't go out anywhere. But there's a track that goes down to the beach, which would just be perfect to go down like every day. But
Mm-hmm.
every time we go down it, he just totally backs in because it's like a ditch on one side and a fence on the other, and he just backs into the fence and just spins around, and there's nothing I can do to make him go down it, and I don't know what to do. But then other days he'll just go down, no bother, and not even think about doing anything.
And does that make it a dangerous situation or not? Is it?
Not not dangerous for us, but if there's people walking up and down, yes. I know he won't do anything, but if there's other people going up and down, then it could be dangerous.
Okay, because the path is narrow and the people have to come close to your horse in order to get past.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. And is there what should the people do in order to what responsibility have the people got to keep themselves safe? Is there any way they can stand to the side, or is that just not possible? Do they need to stand still? Do they need to carry on walking?
Probably if they just like stood still and I got up to the top, then they could walk by no bother. Um,
And can they hear you from the bottom to just wait
yeah,
there?
yeah, they could.
So are you shy about shouting at them? Are you shy about shouting at them? Mind your backs! We're coming through. Just wait there a moment. We're coming through.
Yeah, well, it goes around a corner, so really depends where they are.
Fact is, you've got the fact is you've got to take control of the situation because
Yeah.
they don't know and you do. So if you've got any kind of shyness about, oh, I don't feel like taking control of that situation, you've got to think of yourself more as a police officer or somebody in authority who has to make sure this. I know how it feels. You're kind of caught a bit by surprise, and you're like, oh, I don't feel like shouting out at these people, but there's this thing. There's a lady called, I mentioned her the other day, Mel Robbins, and she used to be absolutely riddled with anxiety and nervousness, and she's now doing broadcasts about how to deal with that. And one of her things, one of her philosophies, that's the word I was looking for, is 5 4 3 2 1. So if you have an idea, such as you've got to shout at these people, 5 4 3 2 1, shout. And then you're going, I just did it in the I don't know. I've got my gardener here somewhere. If I'd have spent time thinking about her when I just did that impression for you, mind your bags. If I'd have spent that time just going, is it? Oh, I'm just doing the broadcast. Where's the gardener? I probably wouldn't have done it. But that 5 4 3 2 1 shout. 5 4 3. If you're in a meeting, if you've had an idea, if it's time to get out of bed and you don't want to, you just in your head you go 5 4 3 2 1 and you just do it. So even if you're feeling a little bit shy, you as the one who could possibly hurt people is the one that must take control of that path. And if you ask people in a nice, loud, clear voice just to wait, could you wait a second? Then if they then don't, and your horse knocks them into the ditch, at least you're off the hook because you said quite clearly, this horse spins sometimes. Could you just wait there? I'll only be a minute. And yeah, that's the one. So with that in mind, when are you next going down that path?
I don't really know, just really whenever.
Yeah, well, next time you do, go out with the intention of working this exercise because it's actually an exercise about you, your security, you being a voice of authority, you knowing more about your horse than anybody else, taking control of the situation, keeping everybody safe. And it's a life skill that you're going to have to learn anyway because you'll be relying on it or throughout your career when it's time to jump up and say this isn't right and this has to go this way, and you don't want to be blown away by the winds of other people when it's time for you to jump up and step up to the mark. I use the phrase mind your back. So I get this all the time when I'm at a show and people are obviously at a show, they're at a county show, they're wandering around, they're not taking any notice. I've got to get maybe 9 horses from there over there. The arena's over there, the campsite's over there. There's all sorts of distractions. Sometimes you've got to go through the main drag. There's the bouncy slides, the kids on trampolines, the zorb balls. Everybody's going along eating candy floss and pushing their buggies. And really, I don't want a horse getting in a buggy. And I have to take control, and I shout all the time in a nice cheery voice because I don't want to start. But it's like mind your backs, and I just say it all the time. And yes, I'm self-conscious, but 5 4 3 2 1, do it because you've got to do it. Make sense?
Yep.
Beautiful. Are you going to let us know how you get on?
Yeah, I will.
Lovely. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Cheersy. Speak to you again, I hope.
Bye.
Bye. Bom dia, Arabella. Como estás?
Too bad. I am okay. And you?
Good. Very well, thank you.
I came to say I because I haven't come up for a little while now, and I am taking lessons now with an instructor to correct everything there is to correct.
Beautiful.
And my horse is very temperamental with other horses around. I never lose control, by the way. I'm always, I'm the boss But
horse does
I
what it's
sent you
told.
some videos. I sent you some videos which were made by the father of the youngest rider there, that were not focused on me, of course, but I am also there. So I asked the father next time, which is tomorrow, to grab some canter, because it's the best of the horses, the canter. Which, by the way, is playing me around and never do the things I ask him the first time I ask. You may see in the video, he really plays me around. He pushes me against the wall. He goes backwards. I hate to have to kick him and push him and collect him, but that's why I'm there. I'm taking lessons to grow with
Super.
my yes, and to learn. We have to be to have humility, to be humility. Did I say it right?
I
We
don't
have
know.
humble.
Oh, humility.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So what you're saying is have the humility to go and get an instructor.
Yes, and
A
start.
1,000,000% I agree.
Yes.
1,000,000%. Everybody has his. Charlotte Dujardin has instructor. Everybody has an instructor.
Yes. And once again, I hear some rumors which I don't give to them.
Yeah.
Because I'm there for me and for my horse. My horse is also teaching me and tells me that I need to focus more on him. Because if he plays me around, I have to teach him not to play me around. Right?
Yes, you can. He can't. He can't, because one day you'll be going from here to there, past all the crowds of people, and you need to take control of the horse, take control of the people, take control of the whole situation, and get this animal through there, and to do what you want to do. And it just means taking control. But having lessons, the amount of people who write to me saying that they can't do this and they can't do that, and I'm saying, what does your instructor say? And they're like, I haven't got one. And I met one lady who came up and said, I've got 40 horses, or had 40 horses through my life, and I've never had a lesson.
Wow.
You can imagine how it went.
Yeah.
Have that humility. Why if you haven't got the money, find the money.
Yeah.
Find the money, because you need somebody on the ground. Someone on the ground can identify something that's bothered you for hours and hours and hours and hours and days and weeks and months, and they can identify it straight like that, going, yes, but when you do A, you also do B, and there we go. And there we go.
Yes. So I send you the videos, and as I said, tomorrow I'll ask this father, please, because I have a problem. I cannot bring my cellular phone to the picadero because there's always someone calling me with work, and the cellular phone rings constantly, and when I am riding, I don't care about work or anything else. You see,
put it in airplane mode.
Airplane mode.
Yes, then nothing can come in and go out, but you can still use all the functions of the phone.
Oh, yes. I had already thought of that, but anyway, I prefer to
buy a camera.
Yes, by a camera, but anyway, there must be someone making the video, right?
Yeah, or ask somebody else to do it. But then, if you ask somebody else to do it, and then the video's on their phone, and they'll go, "I'll send you that."
Yes.
And 2/3 of the time, they don't send you that. They're like, "Oh yes, I forgot."
No, this one does.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Beautiful.
Yes. So I had some changes regarding my riding, And this instructor is all pro working equitation, which
Lovely.
is
Lovely.
and I'm going to make the best of this, and I'll keep informing you how it goes. Right now, I have a few videos you can see. That's the best I can till now, but I'm very enthusiastic about getting further and getting
Super.
better and riding my horse at the best he can do. And these horses of mine can do a lot
Where
because he was taught to working equitation with the champion rider, which is not me, of course. But
if I was you, I would also use those videos, put them up on YouTube or on your Facebook page or something like that. Use them to help people like you who are just a few steps behind. Because
okay.
there are people like you just a few steps behind, and you can also talk about them over the top of the video, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve. You can speak in English and Portuguese and help loads of people.
Okay, that's a way of helping other people. Okay,
Exactly. Beautiful. So that's going to happen tomorrow.
Tomorrow another lesson, another ride, and
Good.
tomorrow I hope to be best because I learned last time a few tricks, a few not tricks because I have some difficulty with my English, but I hope I can get through the meaning to you. Some buttons to click on the horse.
Yeah.
He responds immediately, just like Mel Robbins. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. That's the same with the horse, with some buttons to be pressed.
and your instructor is showing you these tips, is he?
Yes, he didn't quite show. He made me look for.
Made you find them.
Yes.
Super.
Yes. That's what I like in him. He's not saying put your hands like this, put your hands like that. He's a feel the horse.
Yeah.
Feel is the key.
It sounds like a very good instructor.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you very much. We'll look forward to hearing how you get on.
Okay, thank you so much.
Lovely.
Again. You'll be
thank you.
See
you soon. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
There we go. The amount of people who write to me and haven't got an instructor or with behavioral issues with their horses, and they're trying to work it out themselves, and they haven't got somebody in, a horse behaviorist or an instructor, to see how the relationship's going, or somebody who's just a bit further. It's crazy. There's so many people out there with so much knowledge, and what you get somebody in, you pay them £70 and they come for 3 weeks and you're sorted and moving on, and then you don't need to get them for another month. Crazy. Okay, moving on. Karen, you're here. Hello, how are you?
Hi. Oh gosh, I think I've just said goodbye. Have I?
Have you? Where have you gone goodbye
yeah.
to? No, you're still there. I can
can't.
see you. I can see you and I can hear you.
Right.
You just...
that's okay then. I can't see anything, but I can crack on.
Oh no, we can see and hear you.
Oh good. I don't know what I've done. I pressed a button, but I might lose you altogether. So it was interesting because obviously some of the viewers won't understand, but I've been doing the magic question and the goal setting for the course, and it was incredible how much had actually led back to my weight, which actually is probably only 1.5 stone, but has dogged me, for years and years and years. How simple would it be to get rid of it if I had applied myself, but I hadn't done? And I thought, what about is it? And I thought, it's vanity. And that whole thing, this is why I came on today, because that whole thing about vanity, if I get on, I look fat, I wear my air jacket mainly to cover the roll of fat that I hate.
Really?
As well as not wanting to fall off. And so much has come back to this blinking 1.5 stone. And also when I have a lesson, I'm thinking, how much am I wobbling rather than
really?
I can't even tell you from doing all these exercises that we've been doing how much it all keeps coming back to this 1.5 stone, 2 stone, which is not that difficult to lose, surely, that has dogged me my whole life since my 20s.
It's not that difficult to lose. And when we get to the diet and exercise section on the Mounted Division Ultimate Rider Confidence course, it'll be actually a breeze. But however, I'm going to skip that bit and jump on. Suppose that was your weight and you were staying at that weight.
Yes.
If you see people riding who are even heavier than you don't even judge them. If they're riding nicely, they're riding nicely. And the weight doesn't come into it.
You'll be looking at their riding, but it has stopped me. And vanity. So not just vanity
It's
about
the
the weight,
vanity.
it's about the riding. It's the vanity.
Yes, yes.
And
What if you're going to be kinder to yourself, you would call self-consciousness and care and caring about what other people think.
Yeah. But it stopped me taking, there is an opportunity, obviously not with my wrist, but an opportunity to have lessons. But I just, at the moment, I will work on it, but I can't bear the owner, who's a very good rider, gone to badminton. She's not an easy person to get on with, but she's very kind. She's just not very friendly. But she's kind enough. I can't bear the thought of her getting on a horse or Toots or anything, and her thinking, God, she's owned a horse for 8 years, and the state of her riding, and it really is a big block.
Completely imagining.
But am I? That's the thing. I want to think.
Yes, you are.
Care. I'm there for a lesson.
Of course, you're imagining. Of course, you're imagining what she's thinking because you can't hear her.
No.
How can you not be imagining what she's thinking unless she says it?
But I guess the thing is getting to a place where even if she is, I don't care because I want to have a lesson and I want to ride better.
You need to get to a place where you can see the joy in being on the horse, improving your riding, whether you are 2 stone heavier, 2 stone lighter, or the weight that you are now. The losing weight shouldn't be the motivating factor, because what you'll find is when you get back to that weight, then something else will pop up.
Yes.
So say, I'm so inflexible, and or I'm not strong
I think
enough.
Apologizing for myself actually is held back, because when I've had lessons in the past, what I want to say to them is, I know I'm not very good at riding. I'm not very fit. I'm going to be puffing. All this sort of stuff. When in actual fact, I've not really puffed that much. But I want to say all those things to get them in before the person then thinks.
Get your excuses in. Yes. I
want to get all of these things in.
In order to do that, you have to verbalize all these insecurities once again that you've verbalized to yourself or even internally verbalized. So it doesn't do us any good. That attempt to divert them at the pass, or whatever the phrase is, I've forgotten the phrase now, doesn't change anything. You're still you, with your flexibility, your strength, your weight, your determination. You're improving or not improving your horse. Everything's exactly the same, except you just verbalized all your insecurities. Now, what's totally different is to go up to the person and say, look, I weigh 73 kilos. Am I too heavy for this horse? And if the answer's no, the answer's no.
Yeah.
And if the answer is yes, then fair enough. You've got to find a bigger horse, and accept that you can't ride that. And there we are. But to go up to...
I'm 11 stone, so it's not like if I'm like 16 stone. I'm 11 stone, but it's in my head. I do need to lose it, but I think I feel like I'm a totally
at the same time, you can put a picture in your head of riding on the horse at 11 stone and improving. And I mean, I weigh 11 stone, not giving me a hard time. John Whittaker's put on a fair bit lately because he's 70. Of course he has. no one's giving him a hard time. So the hard time is completely and utterly in your imagination and you imagining what other people are thinking. And even if they did open their mouth and say, you're too heavy for that horse, because you've already had the discussion, is 73 kilos or 11 stone or whatever it is too heavy for this horse? You spoke to the owner, you've come to the logical conclusion that no, it's not. And then if someone turns around and says, oh, you're too heavy for that horse, although it's a hurtful thing to say, the correct answer is you're mistaken.
Yes.
Because I've logically and unemotionally assessed the situation. Some of my horses are only 15 hands, and I'm 6 foot, and I can't remember how much I weigh, 82 kilos, I think. And I am quite happy riding them because this is what we've done for years. They're trick riding horses. They're really fit. And anybody who says, fair enough, if it's like, you look too tall for that horse, you look too big on that horse, you're way lanky, look how far down your legs are, or all that. That's all, yes, fair enough. But for someone to turn around and go, you're too big for that horse,
no, you're not.
Meaning too heavy, rather, not too big for the aesthetic. If they're saying you're too heavy for that horse, they're mistaken.
Yes.
They're simply mistaken because I've logically thought about it beforehand and discussed it with the horse's owner. And there is nothing therefore to stop me from making the mental image of having a lovely time on this horse at the weight that I am, if it's okay, and it is.
Yeah, but I think in expressing, thinking about, when I'm looking at my goals and things, expressing all of those insecurities at the start, even though I may have had lessons for quite a few months, I feel, I may be wrong, but it's kept me at that place because I've lowered the person's expectations,
lowered the bar,
and myself. So I've just put here, but I think it's kept me in the same place.
It has.
So, they're teaching someone who has said she's unfit. She said she's not very good, and I've got a feeling it certainly has lowered my expectations of myself by expressing all of those negative things about me at the beginning of when I first met the instructor. So, I feel like I've not pushed myself maybe, and maybe they've not pushed me because of all that negativity. So it was just when you opened the session this morning and said vanity, it's this whole thing I've been doing with the magic question goal setting has led me back to, there is a lot about worrying about what people think about me that stopped me achieving. So that's interesting. So
if next time you want to sort of start not doing something, and instead of having this quite nice thing that I do care about what people think, and have this quite brusque thing going, I'm just being vain and I don't want to be vain.
Yes.
Then it puts you in it's just straight old blunt.
Yeah, I've wrote down straight away, using the negative can sometimes be used to an advantage.
When are you next having a ride where you might previously have felt self-conscious? Let's try it then. Let us know how you get on.
Obviously, because obviously as soon as my wrist is back on and I'm back on again,
or any other situation for that matter, these lessons that we learn about ourselves are across the board, because if we're feeling insecure about our weight or our expertise or our abilities in any amount of things. So the next time we're in a situation where our insecurities might like to pop up and prevent us from doing something, just try. Actually, I'm going to look at this as vanity, and me being the person I am, I would hate to think that I'm vain.
Yes. Yeah, but it has stopped me doing so many things. People will say, oh, do you fancy going away with the girls for the weekend? And my first thought would be, oh my God, what am I going to wear? This kind of
vanity
thing. And yet I do go and I have a great time, so
super. Thank you for coming on, because obviously it's an interesting way of looking at it. There's always another way of looking at the world. If you're
vanity is held me back.
Bingo. If you're getting held back, try thinking about it in the negative and see if that can spur us forward.
Lovely. Thank you.
Lovely. Thanks very much. See you
Thanks.
soon.
Bye.
Bye. If you're a little bit unsure what we're talking about, I've got a online 3-month course which just deals with everything that keeps you off the horse. Your self-image, the way your mind works, the way you've hypnotized yourself into various thinking patterns, including not having the money to ride your horse, not having the time to ride your horse, not having the skills to ride your horse, things that have held people back. These conversations that I've had over years, I've put them all into one 3 months long. It's called the Mounted Division Ultimate Rider Confidence course, all online, and it's dealing with this up here so that you can then do what your instructor says and get on your horse and go away. So that's that. And the other proviso I'd like to put after that conversation is I am perfectly aware that I am quite vain at times. So when I was saying I'd hate to think of myself as vain, I don't hate it at all. Okay, going on. Sarah.
Hiya.
Hello, how are you?
I'm not vain. Look at my sweaty hat hair.
Oh, yeah, you're not vain. That's why you chose the camera angle with all your rosettes in the background.
Shall I spin it so you can look out the window instead? I did actually try to come on from the yard today, so you had my horses to look at, but I couldn't get my phone to work, so I had to come home, and we're back to the same old.
Oh, what a shame! I like it when people have their horses in the broadcast. It's great. Anyway, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I just thought I'd come on. Couple of little things. My funny little agoraphobic horse that we talked about last time that doesn't like the open spaces, and I put him in shoulder in, and we've been going out and we've been doing that, and we just did a ride this morning like that where he got a bit scared in one corner, but prior to that corner we'd been doing shoulder in anyway, so all I had to do was shorten my reins another few inches and then keep him there, and that was fine. Did work definitely, and I would say that is definitely working as a thing. It doesn't stop the anxiety. That's definitely a bite-sized thing. So today we went into the field that we don't normally go in, and we did 6 strides. We stopped, we relaxed, we turned around and we went home. So that's a bite-sized way to deal with the anxiety. But the reason I've really come on, apart from to give you a little update to say thank you for that, is that I realised my problem with my school bubble and my hacking bubble. I was talking to a very good friend of mine who I've known for 30 years yesterday, who's having a couple of confidence issues as well. And I realised it's because, unfortunately, we've actually lost, I think it's 5 people now that we've known over the years out hacking. And that's I can't seem to get over that in my head. And I know that millions of people hack out every day and come back absolutely fine. But in those events, and some of them were 20 years ago and some of them were more recent, 2 of them were more recent, they're in my head of that happened when someone was hacking their horse. So I don't really know how to deal with that because I can't.
Have you ever seen a program called The News?
I try not to be honest.
Now apparently there's some sort of virus going around right now,
which I have no fear of, and probably will die from it, but I've got no fear of it at all.
And the news is publishing the death rates. But there you go. To bring it back to something we have lived with for ages, is cars.
Yeah, I've not lost anybody in a car accident. I think that's where it's because they're people I've personally known rather than.
You're only young.
Yeah.
You're only young, and this will happen. People will die for all sorts of reasons, and reasons of things that you are doing.
Yeah.
If you haven't known many people die of very much, then you've been lucky so far, because people are dying all over the place, and because you've heard of them in your particular sport, that's obviously affected you. But the things that we do, people die of all the time. Whatever you're doing, I'm just sitting by the fish pond now, and I've got the filter going, and there's every way of knowing that somebody somewhere has managed to kill themselves in the fish pond.
They've electrocuted themselves, they've drowned, right?
Yeah. So there's danger in absolutely everything. How many people do you know the second most leading cause of accident is household accidents, falling down the stairs?
Right.
These things happen in life, and quite the reason why we particularly dwell on it is, as you say, it's people that we know. But as you go through life, people that we know die of things that we are doing, and it does give you cause to pause.
Yeah.
And you do think, oh my God, I do that all the time. And then you find that if you're doing your DIY, maybe you do just situate your ladders a bit more responsibly. And if you have a close shave as you cross the road, you're like, I think I'll just be a bit more careful next time. And
or if it's the horse, then we have to be a bit more in charge, I suppose, because that's the way we get that with the horses. Yeah.
And this is why people dwell on the close shave. So if you've ever had the experiences, I have, I'm sure many people have, where you've just turned an excited horse out in the field and let it zoom off, and the last thing that you see is this flash of silver go whooshing past your ear, and you're like, I felt the wind off that. That gives you pause for thought, and it's like, oh my God. And if you wanted to, you could get in a right state about it, when actually what you need to do is take the advice that you've read in every magazine and horse book ever.
Turn them round.
Take a few steps in so you've got an escape route, and turn them to face you.
Yeah.
There we are.
Preparation. Okay. Thank you. I think I just needed some perspective on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I do quite a high risk horse activity. In fact, I'm putting myself out there because I'm saying horses are safe, horses are safe, horses are safe, knowing full well that I'm doing the most extreme things that I possibly can. In the, if people don't know, I've got a gymnastics on horseback show where we build pyramids on top of horses, like pyramids of people. So you got two riders, and then riders on top of them, and then a rider at the top with a flag on top of that. Ends up being really high. And yeah, I'm aware that I'm doing that, but ironically, I don't know anybody. I've heard of one person who's died doing these shows in the last 30 years, but the amount of people who've died doing car accidents, and I get in my car all the time, and when it's someone close to you, it should give you pause for thought. Yeah. It should make you turn into an accident investigator with your own life, and kind of like, well, maybe I should just check this bit of safety equipment, that bit of safety equipment, maybe I should. But once you've done that, that's ticked off and in the box.
I do ride with the safety release stirrups, and I wear my air jacket and things like that, just because I think I'm limiting the risks, and then in my head, it helps deal with that for hacking. I just think it's sensible.
Yeah. Other people have made mistakes and paid the price. So this is why we have a whole culture of making it as safe as possible with high-vis jackets but fact is, if you went out completely stark naked, you'd be all right. So I'll leave you to make that video, but don't.
Don't want that.
Don't publish it on my page. There's specialist websites for that sort of thing. Okay, then. Thanks very much for joining.
Thank you. Bye.
I look forward to hearing from you again.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
There we are. Lovely. Thank you very much for joining the show. If anybody's got a burning question or a burning bit of advice, there's another 10 seconds of show before I disappear. I'm just having a quick look through the comments. Thank you ever so much, everybody, for giving all your comments, joining the show. I'll have a good read of those later. If you've got a question, if you're watching on the replay and we're like, oh, I didn't join it, I'll be on tomorrow at 11 o'clock. So prepare your questions. Come on in. It's very easy. Usually I ask everybody, how easy was it to join? Just because it's super easy, and once you've actually dived in and got on there, it's not the least bit nerve-wracking. So thanks everybody for joining, and I'll see you tomorrow. Doodaloo.